Hey, Chris Jenkins, credential member of the media covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, a.k.a. Man of the People. I'm your friend in the media. Any questions you have about this Carolina Panthers team, I'm here to help you with it. You guys might have a lot of them tonight. Carolina Panthers lose their preseason opener with new head coach Dave Canales. No Bryce Young. Final score in this one, 17-3, avoiding the shutout with Harris Mevis coming out there kicking a 41-yard field goal late in the fourth quarter to, again, preserve 3 consecutive shutouts in a row. We ended last season with 2 in a row. I forget who the first one was, but then we had Jacksonville. And then tonight we managed again to get that 3 points on the board, so that was pretty good. Happy about that. So we're going to go ahead and give you guys a recap. Let me go ahead and give a shout out right here. J47, yes, Man of the People, I'm here reporting live for you guys. Let me get all my graphics going, let you know where I'm at here live at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. And hold on, let me get this one up from Knucklehead K as well. Man, the People, rough start, but defense held up for the most part. It was a rough start, a rough middle, a rough finish. And we're going to go ahead and talk about it. And what we're going to start out with tonight is some game photographs, right? So to give you some visuals, our great photographer, Patrick Snyder, did his thing tonight out in Foxborough in the rain, and now not in the rain. So let's go ahead and start with some photographs. And then we're going to also get into some game recap and some injury updates and transactions, all that good stuff. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at some photos from tonight's game. We got Dave Canales, who coached his first game tonight for the Carolina Panthers. I don't know what he's doing there with the 3 fingers up, but it's a good photograph from the game. All right, let's see, going through these. All right, I got to get it right, but I got it now. Another shot of Coach Dave Canales in his first game. This was at the start of the game with the national anthem being played. And now we got some game action. We're just going to continue to cycle through these. Enjoy these good moments. We can't show you any live video, but we got you some great photographs here. And here was the moment. I don't have any great announcer voices to do on this, but here was the moment that saved us from talking about the pathetic 0-0 scoreless games when Mevis kicks his 41-yard field goal there with Johnny Hekker holding. Johnny Hekker had a nice game tonight. We're going to talk about that. You know you're in trouble when you talk about your kicker having a great game. Dave Canales again doing his thing, calling his first game. Got that challenge flag there in his pocket. And then our guy fumbled the snap. I don't know if that was a snap or if that was midways as he got it, but anyway, it wasn't a good thing. And he made it through the night, so I'll give him credit for making it through the night. And here, late in the fourth quarter, I forget this guy's name, but number 34, he bit on a move, got turned around, kind of got him on the spin cycle. Wide open, touchdown. New England goes up at this point 17-0. Continue to go through some of these great photographs we got. Look at this guy, Bryce Young, looking up at the scoreboard, I would assume. I don't know what exactly was going on, but the coach in the background looks like he's like, aye. Lots of misery going on here. And we'll continue to go through these photographs here. And this is what happened a lot of times today. Even though actually our run game was the better part of the team performance tonight, and that is something that Coach Dave Canales said that he wished to highlight and wished to have as a strong point. So didn't do it a lot, but it was effective as we did it. And I thought I had one more picture. Yes, I do. I know I don't like to show you guys so many pictures of New England Patriots scoring, but that's what they did tonight, and we did not. So you're going to get that. Here is my guy, Trevin Wallace, trying to make the tackle at the goal line, which is right behind me. Wasn't able to make that stop. And this was the first score for the New England Patriots, who went up 17-0. So let's go ahead and get back to here. And it looks like it's foggy out here, but no, that's the rain and I guess maybe some fog coming. But Carolina Panthers, again, falling tonight 17-3. And I'll give you some injury updates. Had a few injuries from tonight's game. We had injuries from Badara. Man, I cannot say this guy's name at all. Badara Chirori had a knee injury. He was questionable to return. He did not return tonight in the game. I believe this coaching staff was just erring on the side of caution, right? Preseason game number 1, a guy gets any kind of tweak, just bring him out, let some other guys get in there with the rotation, and he did not return to the game. Also, 96 defensive tackle Jaden Crumdy, he went out of the game today, questionable with an ankle injury. He did not return as well. So let's go ahead and talk about this game tonight and the decision by Coach Dave Canales to leave more than 20 players. I forget the exact number, but it was more than 20 players inactive for tonight. So we already knew that Bryce Young wasn't going to play. We already knew that Xavier Legette wasn't going to play. But you name them, and they didn't play. Jadeveon Clowney, Derek Brown, Deontay Johnson, what's his name, J.C. Horn. Like, I could just go on and on and on. And I never liked this decision, and for many different reasons. One, so the big reason for my title and saying, was it the right decision? I don't like it because I think as fans, and even as members of the media, right, you're watching this team, you go through the misery of 2-15, and then you get a new coach. You want to have some optimism about this team, right? And of course you could say, well, if they come out and they play a series or two, that doesn't change anything. Well, it still could have meant that we lost 17-3, but it would have given you an opportunity to see this team and get excited, right? And I know they don't let fans run and dictate what happens, but I really feel like nice little PR moment to say, you know what, let's give our fans something to cheer about. Let's give them something to be excited about, build some momentum. Hey, fans are what you want standing in that stadium every Sunday cheering you on. The fans are what you want traveling to Foxborough, to Buffalo, to wherever your games may be, right? And it's so easy, especially on a Thursday night, to get down and be like, here we go again. We are terrible. We can't block. We had our quarterback, even though you say he should have got rid of the ball more times than not, or he should have moved around a little bit more. You know, you had him getting sacked numerous times. You had receivers not catching the ball. It just looked terrible and doesn't give you reason for optimism, except for you can say, well, our starters didn't play. And, you know, we still have 2 more preseason games. There's a chance to get those starters out there. We'll see what Dave Canales' plan is. But I hope, just for a little bit, that they put their ear to the streets and say, hey, let's give our fans, let's give our team, let's maybe even give ourselves, even though we know who we are. Yeah, but why not give yourselves a little on-field live action to say, yeah, we know who we are, and we started to do a little bit before you run into the regular season and then just try to flip a light switch and start playing lights out football and be a competitive team Sunday after Sunday. All right, so that's enough of my rant on the title. I'm going to give you guys some time for question and answers at the end. We're going to go ahead and talk about some of the stats. So we're going to show you some of the stats from the game. Some of you agree, right? Fully agree? Let me put this up here from your boy Kels. Fully agree. I mean, again, we got a show tomorrow where I'll start to allow everybody to come back on and come on the show, tell me how you feel. But this team has been so bad for so long. Last year, Frank Wright was saying, we're going to keep it vanilla. We're going to try to keep things hidden. And, you know, you were like, okay, I get it. That could help you a little bit. And it totally didn't work. It totally didn't work. So, again, just from a PR standpoint and blah, 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 blah. Let me go ahead and get into these stats from today's game, all right? Stats from today's game. Let's go ahead and look at these quarterbacks. See how we did tonight. We had quarterback Jake Plummer, 11 for 21, a whopping 86 yards, a whopping 4.1 yard average, and a 62.8 passer rating. Jake Luton, 7 out of 9. He was much better, even though he still had about the same average length at 38 yards. But his passer rating was much better at 84.3. Total, there was not 100 yards. You know, they now include the sacks as part of that yardage. Did not have 100 yards. That's absolutely pathetic, right? And I know I was asked pregame about my thoughts on if this team would be able to win tonight. And I said no, just because of the fact that you're going to have Jake Plummer playing most of the game. I did not foresee Jack Luton. Did I get it right? Jack and Jake, am I getting them mixed up? Yeah, Jack Plummer. I might have got them mixed up. But I knew I was not going to have faith in Plummer that I felt would have to play at least half the game because Luton hadn't been in all week with the team drills. So sure enough, he plays 3.5 quarters, and then Luton plays a half of a quarter, and that's what you're going to get. That's what you're going to get. Not a lot of good football out there by the Carolina Panthers as a result of that. Let's go to our receivers. Jordan Matthews was our leading receiver, 48 yards, 16-yard average. And then Amir Smith-Marset, 4 receptions on 6 targets. Lots of misses here, right? Lots of misses. Jacob Hollister. Anyway, just look through this list. Nobody at the top that you felt like you should see at the top, right? So let's just go to the drops. You see down there here, now I can't talk. Down at the bottom of the screen, you see the graphics. And I'm going to first point you to Terrace Marshall Jr., who had 0 catches on 2 attempts. And that's not what I expected to see tonight from Terrace. Now, part of what I didn't like that I saw with Terrace was that he had he didn't have back-to-back. Terrace had I don't remember the exact order, but Terrace Marshall had a drop, and then Jonathan Mingo had a drop. These guys had drops back-to-back. Late in the game in the fourth quarter, Amir Smith-Marset, he had a drop. So there's these drops by these guys right in the breadbasket, just right in the breadbasket. Now all these guys have been having solid camps. And Dave Canales has talked about he liked the fact that when they had the Fan Fest or when they had the Back Together Saturday, that it was more real. And they was able to get more real reps. Guys responded differently, and he liked that edge that the players had to play with and deal with that element. Well, you have it tonight, and then you had guys that have been doing well, and they had drops. They didn't look good. The same possible thing could happen with your starters. Of course, they're a little bit higher caliber guy, so you'd hope that doesn't happen, but that's why you go ahead and you give them the reps. Give them the reps under the lights, real stadium, game action, and you build stuff. You build off that. I really, again, me personally, just didn't like not giving these guys any reps. First year coach on first year players, many new players. You got this. All right, I'll stop rambling, but to me, you got to give them some more reps than what he did tonight. Let's move over to the rushing stats. We have Mike Boone that led our rushing, 8 carries, 34 yards. Jonathan Mingo with a carry, which isn't surprising. If you've been to training camp, you've seen that before. Maybe Jonathan Mingo looking to be that DJ Moore, Curtis Samuels kind of I forget the other guy I can't think of the guy's name that we had last year and we lost him in the free agency. But not saying that Jonathan Mingo should be, but I think that they may be just trying to see what receiver they can put the ball in their hands like that. He had 1 rush for 6 yards. Overall, 17 carries, 62 yards, and 3.6 yards average. So what was very disappointing about this, we didn't see Chuba Hubbard at all. Why not? What's the harm in seeing a running back run a few times in a preseason game? We didn't see Miles Sanders. Why not? Miles Sanders is extremely, extremely motivated to get redemption from last year. Just chomping at the bit to get some reps wanting to run over any and everybody that he can, get behind this new line of big bodies. Didn't see any of it. Didn't see any of it. And, I think rightfully so. Now, you're going to have to deal with questions and noise from the outside about, man, this team still looks just like last year. Even though you didn't play your starters, well, we still don't know. And I don't think you're going to sell many people like, we're just going to keep it close to the vest and then we're going to come out and blaze the trails in the NFL. I don't think that's possible. Let's kind of turn it over, look at the defensive side. See lots of comments coming. Appreciate it very much. I will get to as many as I can here shortly. On the defensive side, two guys that I liked stood out, caught my eye, Deshaun Jameson, as well as Lamar Jackson. To me, these two guys had some pretty good games to raise their stock a little bit. Some good plays on the ball tonight. Both of these guys had pass deflections. And Deshaun actually had 4 tackles to go along with his 2 pass deflections. Lamar Jackson had 2 tackles to go along with his. So there you have that there. And this comment just popped up. I'm going to show it for a second. That pretty much was a college team, not our best players. I know. I get it. So, but why would you do that? why would you put that out there for fans to see and not think that you need to put any of your starters out there? I know it wasn't the best team. That's what I'm happy about. Why are you putting not your best team out there? And I know so many people do it differently. Patrick Mahomes is playing. Who else is playing? I'm forgetting my notes from earlier today. But there's several big quarterbacks that are playing. There's several that aren't. Lamar Jackson isn't going to play for the Ravens, quarterback. Neither is Aaron Rodgers likely going to play. But things are different. I think you have to make those decisions based on your team. Based on your team, and our team needs it. Let's continue to go through some of these stats. Here's one that I do not show often at all, but had to show tonight. This one here on punting. Carolina Panthers, Johnny Hekker was just 1 punt away from tying Todd Sarbarn's record of 11 punts in a game. That happened with Todd back in 2002 where he had 11 punts. Today, Hekker had 10 punts for a whopping 464 yards with a long of 58. This game had a lot of punts, And Johnny Hekker actually even got a tackle out of it. And he did this, I don't know if you guys saw this. Johnny Hekker had a punt. He made a tackle over here on this side of the field near the sidelines after early kind of getting juked, knocked the guy out of bounds, and he did the, let me step back so you can see it. He did the too small. The guy likes to have fun, right? I guess that's what it's about for him. But that was funny to see him do the too small. So that's your recap from here, Bank of America Stadium, Gillette Stadium here in Foxborough, Massachusetts. I'm now going to take a few questions from you guys before I get out of here. Tomorrow we will resume our customary day after game show recap, where we'll go into more details about breaking down the game that happened tonight. We'll also go over some more coach talk, as well as it is a completely interactive show. So that means there's a link that I'll put in the description for the video. I want you all to call in, video in this case. Let me know your questions, let me know your thoughts. It's a nice, fun show, interactive again. The only credentialed member of the media that does live shows and interacts with the fans as much as I do. I hope you appreciate that. Hope that also earn you to subscribe to the channel, like the video, help us continue to grow and do what we do. All right, let's go ahead and get into some of these questions here. And by the way, your support is always welcome. So if you're able to do a super chat, become a member. I'd love to have you join our community here to support this channel. You guys fund 100% of what I do. Was able to make this trip to Boston. Would love to continue to make it to all the games, but that's just dependent about how much support we can get for the channel. So anytime that you're able to do that, that is awesome and appreciated. All right, let's go ahead and try to blaze through some of these questions tonight. Sorry about that, I moved the wrong thing. All right, here we go. What up, Chris? Plummer better hop on Indeed because that quarterback thing ain't it. Yeah, I've been saying it all training camp. The Plummer's just, a third string quarterback. He needs some reps to get up to speed. And you guys are lucky that, Andy was hurt as early as he was, in the sense, stay with me here, in the sense that Plummer was able to get a lot of reps, starting with FanFest down in Clemson. And he has started to get a lot better. Before he was able to get all those reps, his play was not that good. It was much worse than what you saw tonight, which is, again, why I did not have much faith in the results of tonight's game and didn't feel like it would be something that really gives you a chance to evaluate things, even though you still have receivers, 3 different ones, that have been doing really good in training camp, dropping balls that were right in the breadbasket. So that is what it is.
Lots of punts.
Donald Duck said that was sad. It was indeed sad. Was not fun to watch.
I saw enough of Billy Zappi last year to know.
Ethan DeVore, thank you for what you do. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate you tuning in. I do it out of love. I do it out of love for the game and love for you guys. So thank you for the compliments there. My 90s Dell computer processes better than Plummer. Yeah. Plummer had some challenges there. Did they have the pressers? So, yes, they still had the pressers for Coach Dave Canales. They still had player availability afterwards. Now, I normally do not go into those pressers because I'm trying to get the show going as quickly as possible. I got to make my way from the press box down to the field and set it up. That in itself takes me about 30 minutes just to do that. So if I did that, then the show would be like an hour and a half after the game. I don't want you guys to wait that long. So that's why tomorrow's show, I'll cover more about what was said in the pressers as well as what was said in the locker rooms. Appreciate the question, Omar. Thank you, Chris, for I just covered that about the presser. They did have it. Mevis and Plummer had the same number? Did they? I think they had different numbers. They could have had the same number. That happens in the preseason because you have more players than numbers, basically. But let's see. Okay, yeah, you're right. Mevis and Plummer do have the same number. Wow, all season long I haven't noticed that. But, yeah, there's a couple of players that have duplicate numbers. Again, right now that's just a result of having so many guys out there for training camp, and you get that happening. Forever Pounding next will be better. It's not too difficult to get it better than what we're doing. Alec Govan, I thought the second team pass rush was decent and the DBs looked good against Brissett and May. Luton is QB3. He could be. I mean, certainly he was picked up and here, unless they're just specifically wanting to develop Plummer, then yes, absolutely Luton would be QB3 over Plummer in my opinion. Chance Hines, it was a tough opening act, that's for sure. It was a brutal opening act. I think I might have time for just a few more questions here before we get off. Second-gen shopper. Looked like a college team, a bad college team, man. It was. But did you notice how things changed when Luton came in? it was still, I'm sure he didn't have the full number of plays. Everything was like short and quick, but it was working. It was effective. Those guys were catching the ball. Yeah, you're right. Thanks, Chant. Laviska Shenault. So earlier I was talking about Jonathan Mingo going to use.
Another punt.
I don't know why some journalists go to yell at the top of their lungs when they're talking. It's this guy like 10 feet next to me. But anyway. Yes, Laviska Shenault was the guy who I was talking about earlier as I was naming the players that they try to find the wide receiver that could also get into the run game. They seem to be trying to see if Jonathan Mingo could be that guy. Thanks for helping me remember Chance on that one. All right. Metro New England curse bad weather, backup death with injuries. Yeah.
So we got that Mayo shot at the beginning of the highlights.
Tepper is going to be throwing drinks by week 8. So, oh man. So what concerns me, and again, going back to the title, why the fans deserve to see the starters, because you deserve to see that the things are going to change. That's another opinion. You deserve to see that things are going to change and be better, have reason for optimistic. Because guess what? If there's nobody at the stadium, if things are going slow, you're like, hey, we wish fans were here. Well, okay, still, you could have gave us something in the preseason, and you could give us something to cheer for, but you didn't. Not yet, anyway. You still got 2 more games, got the Jets coming up. But I was going to say Tepper with the drink throwing. Okay, he did that last year in Jacksonville, but in terms of that being a situation that may happen because of the frustrations, our offensive line has had some struggles. It's new guys. You got some good guys. You got some well-paid guys. And I'm not saying those guys will not be very good for the Carolina Panthers, but continuity is a thing that linemen love because there's a lot of communication and adjustments that they make, and that comes with the experience with playing with one another. There's also a new center that has to make calls to those guys in real live action that would be helpful for them to do. And anyway.
Right, but this was bad.
Anyway, we'll continue to move on.
No, this guy was older. He was like literally, this is hurt. No,
Let's see.
He looked like he was somebody's dad.
I hope our evaluation of players isn't based. You're evaluating something. You do play the games for a reason. All right, we got time for one more. I'm going to get out of here. Didn't Luton just come to the team a few days ago? Yeah, Luton. So today is Thursday. Forgive me if I get this incorrect, but I feel like Luton came on Monday. Yeah, I feel like Luton came on Monday. So he had a Monday, he had Tuesday, Wednesday was a travel day, tonight was a game day. And Luton hadn't had any practice with the team as far as in a team environment. Luton has been out there in drills, just throwing the ball, getting reps, actually just throwing the ball, kind of getting a rapport with the receivers and how they run routes. But every day in practice, they then go into team drills, and all week long, only Bryce Young and Plummer got reps. I'm telling you, this reporter beside me is yelling. At least that's how I feel. He's yelling. All right. This guy's talking smack in the background. One thing I noticed about Jatavian Sanders, had solid blocking tonight. I did not watch him a lot. I went to watch Trevin Wallace, and I went to watch Charles Smith-Wade. Those 2 guys tonight, they did well. I watched Sanders a little bit as I was trying to look at the personnel that we were using. Not saying, Ethan, that you're right or wrong. I just did not have a chance to look at it. But when I have my show tomorrow, I will have had a chance to go through the tape a little bit more, and we'll report on what I see there. All right, so I got to wrap it up at this point just because I can't hear myself. Hey, thank you all so much.
After the game, talked about his first game.
Can you guys hear him? But anyway, thank you all so much for joining. Thanks for all watching. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. Help us get to 15,000. We will have, again, our recap show tomorrow, live, interactive with you all. So be sure to look for that link, set your reminder so you know when that happens. Chris Jenkins for Charlotte Vibe, live from Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts.